Bennet and Sherrod Brown. They were amazing and relentless and just so
Annoying.
Michael was never annoying.
That's not. That's
You asked for it.
Uh-oh.
Both of them are great and two of our best members, and really just convinced now the country how great this is. Michael Bennet.
Thank you, Leader, and it really is a great privilege to be here today on this amazing day for America. Some of you know I was the superintendent of the Denver Public Schools before I was in this job. Most of the kids in Denver live in poverty, and many of their parents are working 2 and 3 jobs, and no matter what they do, they can't get their kids out of poverty. And as I've traveled as a senator, the state of Colorado, the last 10 years, I had to sum up those town halls. It's really easy. It's people coming and saying, Michael, we're working really hard, harder than we ever worked, and we can't afford some combination of housing, health care, higher education, early childhood education, daycare so we can work. We can't save. We feel like our kids are going to live a more diminished life than the life that we lived. And all of that, from the parents in the Denver Public Schools to the parents I've met in rural and urban Colorado, is an anecdotal reflection of an economy that for 50 years, has worked really well for the top 10% of Americans and hasn't worked for anybody else. And instead of helping with the matter, Washington has actually made it worse. It's hard to believe, but if you look at the Bush tax cuts and the Trump tax cuts, and you think about those policy decisions from the vantage point of a mayor in any one of our communities, the mayor of Rochester, or the mayor of Denver had said, I'm going to borrow a whole bunch of money that we've never borrowed before. And you'd ask them, well, that makes me nervous. What are you going to spend it on? Are you going to spend it on our parks? No. Are you going to spend it on our infrastructure? No. On mental health? No. On homelessness? No. On schools? No. What are you going to do with it? I'm going to take the proceeds of this and I'm going to give it to the 2 richest neighborhoods in Rochester or Denver. That is what their tax policy has been at a time when we have had the worst income inequality that we have had since 1929. This completely changes the page on that, turns the page on that, and makes sure that the people in America who actually need the help most get help and get it on a monthly basis to secure the middle class and to give people a chance to get their kids out of poverty. Because of what's happening today, over half the kids in this country are going to be lifted out of poverty, and I think that is a demonstration from Washington, D.C., that our kids are visible to us, that they're not someone else's kids, they're America's kids, that we will not accept the idea that the United States of America should have among the highest child poverty rates of any industrialized country in the world, that childhood poverty has to be a permanent feature of our economy or our democracy. Today we're saying no, and we're saying yes to our kids, and I think to our future. And I thank everybody up here, every single one, and Joe Biden in particular, for his leadership in making this happen. Let me turn it over now to my great, incredible partner from the state of Ohio,